sick note. Today, John has decided to stay at home to play in the snow. Do you like making snowmen? John does. John's snowmen are all popinjays. See the bright, sparkly clothes. John was supposed to go to work, but John still has a sick note from the doctor because he has a broken fingernail. Poor John. John's friend Alan from Wheelston, who has a part-time job as a bingo caller, has agreed...
Stop it, don't encourage him, don't encourage him.
...has agreed to cover the 10 minutes work that John normally does. Kind Alan.
I'm not from Wheelston.
Wrong side of the hill. Alan gets up early and gets the train into work. Alan does not have time for breakfast as it takes a long time to get from Wheelston because of the snow. When Alan arrives in London, he goes to the local delicatessen to pick up his breakfast. Ding-a-ling goes the shop. I mean, the Archers has sound effects.
Yeah. We don't.
Alan sees Mrs. Scott behind the counter. Mrs. Scott says, "Hello, Mr. Derrycoat. Are you still having to cover for the old fellow who looks like Mr. Pastry?" Yeah? Sorry.
Yes, says Alan.
Mrs. Scott says, "Normally he comes in for his Wiener Schnitzel and coffee for breakfast every day. He said that he needs the coffee to wake him up on the early shift. He used to really like those candied brandy snaps over here, too." And Alan says,
I didn't know he had breakfast here.
and Mrs. Scott says when I first suggested the schnitzel, he wasn't too keen to start with. I know that his wife doesn't like him having fried food, but now he loves them. Tell him that when he's better, the next time he comes in, I'll give him £1 off his order.
Ooh.
Kind Mrs. Scott.
Ooh.
See Alan order the full cooked breakfast, 14 rounds of toasts, and a big jug of coffee. Hungry Alan. When Alan has finished his breakfast, he orders some cakes for his 11s and then goes off to work. And when it's time to go home, Alan calls John on the telephone. Ring, ring. However late. And you're only doing that because we're on the television. Janet is making some sausage rolls in the kitchen. John likes sausage rolls. See Janet wipe the flour off her hands and answer the phone. Hear Janet shout to John to come in and speak to Alan. See John hop and skip gaily in from the garden. Take off his cerise duffel coat with lace trim on the cuffs and hood, the bright orange Wellingtons and sparkly blue mittens on the strings. And when John has finished talking, Janet said,
Did Alan want to know when you'd be back at work?
She's a fright.
She does that.
She's a fright. And John says,
No, Alan was telling me that he saw the lady who usually wakes me up when I stay up in London. She remembered my speciality because I used to be indifferent. She also showed him some of the candied snaps I like and said she'd give me a special treat next time I'm in and let me have £1 off on her schnitzel.
"Do you know how to make your face go purple?" Well, Janet does. See Janet pick up the marble rolling pin that John bought her for her birthday. See John run. Run, John.
Run.
Run.